Hey, ho, ho, ho. What's up, everybody? It's 𝗙Con back with another video. And as you can see from the title of this video, this is going to address a couple of your questions, your viewer comments. And these are some questions that some of you guys left on my last video, which I think I posted on Monday. I'm not entirely sure, but I decided to put on my Santa Claus hat today for the festive occasion of this week, it being the week of Christmas out there and in here for that matter. So I don't have the big bushy white beard yet, but maybe next year, if things keep going the way they are, I might actually have a big bushy white beard by next year. So anyway, let's dive into some of your questions. I actually have, I think, 2 or 3 questions here that I picked out because I think they're, I tend to pick questions that I think address sort of a broader base out there, that I think it's not just a question that's going to be good to answer for that individual asking the question, but I think a question that a lot of you might share out there. So hopefully that my replies and my going over the question will answer the same question for you, for anyone out there watching that has that question or these issues or concerns bouncing around their cabeza, their bean. That's kind of the benefit of doing these questions for these videos, is hopefully these will answer concerns that all of you or a bunch of you have out there watching. So the first one is from VJ. Hi 𝗙Con, I have a question. How convenient. I feel like I'm doing everything right in every aspect of my life. Good. But there's always a but. I am just not convinced enough that I'm doing enough to manifest my specific person. I need some kind of satisfaction in doing something in terms of action that can fulfill me for some time to keep it off my mind, hence helping me manifest faster. Now, this is an interesting one, and it's something that I've talked about a lot, and it's a little bit nuanced to kind of get into this, because of course on the surface of it, it seems like, oh, I'm distracting myself from thinking about the specific person, which is what 𝗙Con and others have said I should do so that I can manifest them faster. So I'm doing this thing over here that has nothing to do with my SP. Maybe I'm getting into this hobby, maybe I'm getting into that thing, and I'm doing it so that I can have them faster. Now, those of you who have been watching my channel for a little while, can you kind of guess a little bit what I'm going to say about that? Again, these things are nuanced, but I want to really stress to you here, VJ, and anyone out there having the same kind of issue, that if you're doing this stuff in order to manifest them faster, where is your focus? Where are you putting your focus? Where are you putting your attention? Are you living in the end of what you want? Are you living in the end of having them already? If you're trying desperately to do things in order to manifest them faster, because the very fact that you're telling me that you want to manifest them faster means that you really are focusing most of your attention, or when you are focusing on your specific person, it is in such a way that you feel they're not here yet and you need them to be here to be happy. So you're not doing these other things that I suggest when I say, hey, take your mind off the subject for a while, take your mind off the specific person for a while. Don't focus so much on them and put your mind on something that you're passionate about, something that makes you feel good, so that you get into the flow of that thing, so that you're not putting all this negative attention and all this urgent, desperate attention into the subject of your specific person or whatever your major desire is that you want to manifest. Because to do so is to really focus in such a way that says and reinforces in your mind, hey, they're not here yet, and I can't be happy without them. So I've said this again and again to be careful of this trap, okay? Be careful of the trap that says, hey, I'm going to distract myself from thinking about them so I can get them faster. You're not doing that in order to get anyone faster, to manifest anything faster. You're doing it for the sake of itself. You're taking those actions and doing those things and engaging in those hobbies or whatever it is in order just for their own sake, because you enjoy it, because you need to enjoy your life and get your mind off the fact or the idea that you've trained yourself into that you're not good enough without them, that you're not happy enough without them, that only they can fulfill you, only they can complete you, only they can bring you happiness in your life and satisfaction in your life. You need to be able to give that to yourself without them being present. And when you're able to do that successfully, without always going back, okay, now I've, read a good book. Well, where are they? Okay, now I've painted a nice painting. Well, where are they? Now I went and had fun with my friends, but they're not here yet. Okay? All you're doing all day long still is practicing the idea of how they're not here yet. How can you be focusing on that and then receive them? Being in receiver mode, in receivership of your desire, is to just not think about it. You're not doing the hobbies and the things and enjoying your life and loving yourself and being the best version of yourself that you can in order to get them to complete you and make you happy. If those things aren't making you happy on their own, then find different things to do and different things to think about. Okay? You need to get away from this idea that you need to do something. You need to take action to get them because you're not happy without them in your life. You gotta be happy without them in your life. I know that sounds easier. It's easier said than done. But you know what? It's a lot easier than you think it is. Because you've trained yourself into this idea that you can't be happy without this person in your life, or without this thing in your life, or without this pile of money in your life, or without that specific house, or that specific car, or whatever it is. You want all these things for a reason. You want all these things because you think you will feel better in the having of them. But see, there's the rub already, right? There's a hole there already because you're already unhappy. Do you really think if you manifest them faster right now, you're suddenly going to be happy? Because there's something else missing for you. And what's missing for you is understanding and living in the now moment, not in the future, worrying about the future or lamenting the past, but learning to be in the now moment, learning to exist, to be a human being and not a human doing. Okay? That's very important for you to understand. Stop with this ego mind. The ego mind, the monkey mind wants you to do things. Do, because you just aren't happy enough without the thing that you think you want, that you think is going to make you feel the way that you want to feel. You can train yourself and teach yourself to feel that way now. Identify what that is. You want to feel loved and appreciated? You can do that right now. Do you want to feel popular? You can do that right now. Do you want to feel security? You can do that right now. Okay? Without them being present. And if you're able to do that right now, which you are, by the way, but when you're doing it, they will come into your life as a match to that. You have to first become that state for them to come in as a match to that state that you've now achieved. Okay? It's really that simple, guys. It's not complicated. And when you tell me, hey, I've been doing all these things, Tarkan, to get my mind off them, why aren't they here yet? I know that you haven't been taking your mind off them. I know that you're doing all of these things that you claim to be doing to get your mind off them in order to get them to manifest them faster. So you're still focused on how they're not here yet. What do you think's going to happen when you focus on how they're not here yet? They're not going to be here, okay? It's just that simple. But if you go, you know what? It's a done deal. I can relax about it. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't even care because I love myself. I love my life. I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying my life. I'm doing the things I love. I'm growing. I'm learning. I'm learning to be in the now moment. I'm meditating. I'm relaxing. I'm getting a good night's sleep. I'm eating well. I'm exercising. I'm hanging out with my family. I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm doing the things that I love. My life is so busy with things that I love to do. I'm so busy with loving myself and appreciating myself that I don't care when they show up. I know they're going to show up because the happier I am, the less I focus on how they're not here yet, the faster they are going to show up. But I'm not doing all these things and loving myself and being happy in my life to get them to show up faster, because that would indicate that my focus is on how they're not here yet rather than how they are here already. Okay? All right. I hope you get it. I hope you get it. And it may take a few times watching this video or other videos of mine for you to get it. That's perfectly okay. Don't try so hard to get from over here to over there. Okay, guys? Really, so much of this is about, I don't know how to stress this enough. So much of this is about really learning to be in the moment and learning to be okay with where you are now. Don't try to get away from where you are right now so much. Okay? You know, I have manifested people, I've manifested things that I wanted for a long time, only to find out when I got them that they didn't satisfy me in the way that I anticipated they would. Really, honestly. And then I had to ask myself, well, what's the problem here? I wanted this thing so badly and for so long, and then I manifested it. I should be happy, but I still feel, I don't know, incomplete because I was still using that thing as a crutch to prop myself up. Especially when it comes to relationships and other people. If you're using them as a crutch or as something to prop you up, to prop up your ego, to make yourself feel good about yourself, well, that other person, that's a 24/7 job that no one can fulfill but yourself anyway. I never went from a place of being miserable to now I'm miserable, I got what I want, and now I'm happy. It never happened. It's never happened. It never will. It doesn't work that way, okay? Every time I got something I wanted, I was happy first. I was happy whether it was in my life or not. And then, boom, it showed up. Even in moments I would forget about it because I was having such a blast in my life. I was focusing on myself, improving myself, doing things that I love, thinking about things that I love, learning about things I was interested in, that I was getting so into the flow of my life that I wasn't even thinking about that thing anymore. It didn't matter. I mean, it would pop into my head every now and then, but not in such a way like, oh my God, it's not here yet. What do I do? I'm going to sit around and, no. Oh yeah, I wanted that. Cool. Okay. What's next? What's for dinner? Oh, I'm going to cook this. I'm going to have fun. Oh, I'm going to watch that movie. Oh, I'm going to call that person. Oh, I'm going to have a beer tonight. Oh, I'm going to paint a painting. Oh, I'll write a poem. I'll do whatever. Okay. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go for a swim. Oh, I'll drive to the beach. Oh, I'll drive over there. I like that place. Whatever it is. Okay. You're living your life in the moment. You're following your highest excitement every step of the way. All right. This is what 𝗏𝗧𝗏 says. If you just follow your highest excitement in every moment, you go, what's the most exciting thing I could do right now in this moment that's possible for me to do? You do that thing until you've done that thing. Then you go, what's the next most exciting thing that I can do in this moment that's possible for me to do? And you keep following those breadcrumbs. And before you know it, you are on your path, not just to the one specific thing that you've always been thinking about that you want, but to all the things you don't even know you want. Things you don't even know that are out there and possible for you that will suddenly come flowing and flooding into your life. You go, oh my God, I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't even know that was possible. All these things are waiting for you right now for you to just chill out, get on with your life, not think about it so hard, not try to put so much effort into it. And certainly don't try to go, I'm going to try to be happy so I can get the thing faster that I think is going to make me more happy. That's just not how it's going to work. Okay? Thank you for that comment, VJ. I hope that answers that question for you. Okay, so let's see. I think there was another one or two. Okay. Mista, I think I've answered some of your comments before. Mista, hey, great video as always. Thank you, Mista. Yesterday, I decided to text my SP, my specific person, after 6 months of no contact. I decided to just do it. Okay. Well, it went well. It could have been better. Wasn't horrible. Well, that's good. But she seems detached, was talking, taking a while to respond, and has still left me on delivered. I think you mean that your message is still delivered, so you're checking all the time. You're checking every 30 seconds. It's still undelivered. It's still undelivered. She hasn't seen it yet. She hasn't looked at it yet. She hasn't looked at it yet. When's she going to look at it? When's she going to look at it? Okay. It seems as if she's still holding what happened between us against me. Is she? Or are you just making that up in your head? How can I change this or change the way she interacts with me? Well, by not trying to change the way she interacts with you. By not trying to change it. That's how you change something. By stop trying to change it. Stop trying to influence it. Stop trying to change the way she interacts with you. That's it. That's the answer. Okay? I mean, look, I just decided to I just decided to text her. No, you didn't. You decided, you were sitting around wondering, oh my God, it's been 6 months, so you've been keeping score. You've been counting the days like a prisoner, doing the little lines on the wall or crossing out the days on the calendar. How much longer left in my sentence of not being there with her? That's what you've been doing. So then you decided, well, I don't trust the process because I've been focusing on how she's not here. So why isn't she here? I must do something because it's not working. Focusing on how she's not here is not working to get her here. So I must do something. I'm going to text her. It's fine to text them, okay? As long as you're doing it like, I wonder how they're doing. Or I'm going to drop them a little line and say, hey, whatever, how's it going? How's your day? Or, hey, guess what? I drove by that place the other day. Remember that place? That was fun. Oh, it made me think of you. I hope you're okay. That's it. And you don't expect an answer back. You're just giving them something. You're giving them a gift. That's unconditional, by the way. That's unconditional love. You're giving them something. I'm going to give you a hello. I'm going to give you, hey, I hope you're okay. It's not even a question like, how are you? How have you been? It's just a, hey, I was thinking about you the other day. Or this thing happened, or I passed by that place that made me think of you. And I realized it's been a while, and I hope you're okay. That's it. Okay? Then you get on with your life. Like I said for VJ, get on with your life. Get on with what you're doing. Get on with working on yourself. Don't sit around and sit there and go, where is she? Look, I know I'm pulling your leg a little bit and I'm teasing you, but there's a method to my madness, okay? Sometimes you guys need a little smack on the ass, all right? I'm telling you this as a coach, and it's tough love, all right? Sometimes you need a little smack on the ass. And it's in a way, I wish I had gotten smacks on the ass when I was going through that, doing that kind of stuff. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, where is she? She hasn't responded. It's still undelivered. It's still undelivered. What's she doing? She must be with somebody else. Now you're filling in the gaps for yourself, okay? She must be with somebody else. Or she's probably still mad at me. You don't know that. You don't know that. Any number of things could be happening while you're sitting there waiting desperately for a response. She could be, having a crisis with her family. She could be, she could have lost her phone. Okay. She could have left her phone somewhere. She's looking for it. She's busy doing something. She might be busy at work. She might be busy filing her nails. She might be busy twiddling her hair. If that's what she wants to do in the moment, that's, her prerogative, okay? Don't assume the worst. You're assuming the worst. Like, oh my God, it must mean she hates me. It must mean that she's mad at me, right? She's still holding what happened between us against me. How can I change that? Stop trying to change it. Stop trying to get away from where you are so much, so desperately. Listen, if you're going to text them, make sure that you're okay with not hearing back from them. Okay? Because if you've been practicing self-love, self-appreciation, and appreciating your life well enough, then you wouldn't care whether they respond to you or not. Your happiness is no longer dependent on what they do or what they don't do. So instead of saying, I need them in my life and I need them to respond to me, you say, that would be nice if they were in my life. That would be nice if they responded to me, but it's not critical to me. I'm not going to fall apart and melt into a puddle of self-pity or anxiety if they don't. Because my life is already complete. I'm already fulfilled because I do that. I take care of my happiness. That's my responsibility. That's my job, and I'm good at it. And so I do it. In fact, I'm better at it than anybody else. I'm better at making myself happy than anybody else is. I'm better at it than they are. They're not the cake. They're the cherry on the cake. If you want a cherry on your cake, if you want something else on your cake, whatever they are, that's what they are. They're not going to make your life. They're going to complement your life. That's it. That's it. Okay? That's all there's to it. So if you think about texting them or contacting them, make sure that you're okay with yourself. Make sure that you're calm. Make sure that it's of no consequence to you whether you hear back from them or not. That it doesn't make you fall apart. That you text them, you give them a hello, you give them a hope you're okay, and then you get the hell on with it and you don't even think about it anymore. That's how you know you're aligned with it, okay? That's how you know. When you don't care whether they get back to you or not. When you go, oh, that would be nice. I would like it if they got back to me, but I don't care if they don't. It doesn't matter if they don't. And I'll tell you something from personal experience. Every time I've had that attitude about things, boom, it would happen. Boom, it would happen. Boom, it would happen. Boom, it would happen. Like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. All right? No, I mean, no waiting, because I'm not waiting. I don't wait. You know what? My life is too important to wait for anybody or anything. All right? Time's a ticking. I don't have time for that damn shit. I'm not waiting for anything or anybody. I'm getting on with my life. That's it. Things need to wait for me, okay? But I love myself and respect myself and appreciate myself enough to not allow things like this to tear me apart. To waste my time sitting around waiting for someone else to give me validation, to prop me up. It's not their job. I don't even want it to be their job because they suck at it. I'm the only one that's good at making myself happy. Everybody else sucks at that. And it's not their fault. I'm not saying they're bad people, but they suck at making me happy. Okay? Time and time again, the longer you live, the more relationships and friendships you have, the more you'll understand that. People suck at making you happy. Most of them can't even make themselves happy. You're the only one that's not going to suck at making you happy. Okay? So get to work on that. All right? And don't worry about whether she's responding back to you. And you'll find out when you truly don't worry about it, when you truly don't sit around thinking about it, that's when it's going to happen. And it's not going to be a big deal to you. You're just going to be like, oh, cool. Look, she texted back. That's nice. Hey, what you doing? Oh, let's go grab a beer. If your things are open or, whatever. Let's hang out. Let's take a walk in the park. I'd love to see you. That's all. And then you have fun. You be in the moment. Learn to be in the moment. Okay? Thank you for that comment, Mista. I think I had one more that was kind of along those lines, somewhat longer one. Sensitive. Yes, there is one. Hi, I had a quick question. It's always a quick question. I've been thinking about as of last night. It's about an 𝗪SP. Of course it is. How would I know if I truly want to manifest them because I believe we're in love? And how much is just ego from rejection? That's a good question. We've been on and off for 3 years, and we've never committed. Now listen to this. They come back into my life whenever I'm focusing on myself. Period. This past time was the farthest we've gotten. Actually taking action and steps to be together. Well, who's taking action steps to be together? I guess both of you. But it sounds like now you're taking a lot of action. Then all of a sudden they say their feelings have changed and we both deserve and want different things. I assume there's a third party. You're assuming. That's always lingered. You're assuming, therefore you're creating it. Don't ever assume. I learned back in my college days, early college days, when I took some journalism classes. I actually worked for a college newspaper. And our professor always said, do not assume. It makes an ass out of you and me. Think about that. But now, I don't know if I should just let them go, yes, as the biggest act of love. You mean let them go, like sacrifice yourself for them? Let them go, like, oh, if they must be so unhappy with me, so if I let them go, that's the ultimate act of love towards them. That's not self-love, though, is it? Self-appreciation. That doesn't sound like that. I'm so confused and I'm afraid they just don't love me anymore the way I do. Well, just because you're afraid doesn't mean that it's so. But if you continue to be afraid of that, it might, you might see evidence of that. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's so. Remember, all possibilities exist at once. The possibility that they are head over heels in love with you exists equally as much as the possibility that they hate your guts, okay? What you focus on is what you're going to draw out of them. All right? That's all it is. So it's your choice every time. I hope this makes sense. It does. I guess when do you know when to walk away after so many failures? First of all, stop counting your failures. You don't fail. We don't fail. There's no failure. Okay? Stop thinking in terms of failure. I failed. Well, what does that mean really? Okay? You failed. You're alive. They're alive. You're both breathing. You're both in the world. So there's always a chance. There's always hope as long as that's going on. Okay. So there's no failure. There's just learning. You fall on your ass. You go, oh, well, I won't twist my ankle that way. I won't turn this way too fast, or I'll slow down a little bit, or I'll speed up a little bit. That's how you learn to walk. Okay. All right. You don't think back on when you were a toddler learning to walk and go, oh God, if only that Thursday I hadn't, fallen on my ass that many times, I would have learned how to walk quicker. No, you're walking. You don't even think about it anymore, what it took to learn to walk. Okay? So just get up and keep going. Okay? Don't ever think in terms of failure. You're learning. I always think mistakes are, if you think of them as dry runs, like rehearsals, okay, for the actual thing. You get rehearsals, then you practice the part, you go, well, that doesn't work too well for me, so I'll try something different. And you stick with what works, and you discard what doesn't work. Mistakes are your friend, people. Mistakes are your friends, okay? They're there to help you. They're not against you, they're not your enemies. So don't be afraid of mistakes, okay? You haven't failed. I do admit I've never been 100% healed and self-loving. That's okay, as long as you're striving towards that. And as long as you're able to do more of it than you've done before, even if you're just 51% of your waking hours, you're focused in a more positive way than you're not, then you're already way ahead of the curve. You don't need to do this 100%, guys. And again, I find this so much with people manifesting, especially when they first learn this stuff, is that they push so hard to be 100% perfect, 100% positive all the time. You really don't need to be. You're human. You're having a human experience. It's okay for you to be sad. It's okay for you to be fearful and frustrated. It's okay. As long as you train yourself and teach yourself not to linger in that so long, okay? As long as you can acknowledge that you feel bad. You can acknowledge that you're disappointed. You can acknowledge that you're sad. You can cry about it. It's okay. All right? But then once you got that out of your system, go, okay, so now how can I reach for a better feeling? And how can I practice more of that better feeling for more of my waking hours? Okay. Even if it's 51% of your waking hours, that's good enough. That's already more than most people do on this planet, honestly. So look, let me just say this because I really want to highlight this. I don't want to dwell on this too long because, this is actually a very simple question like the other questions. You're missing the very obvious thing here. Okay. This is what I am able to do for you as a coach is that you are missing. I'm pointing this out to you and it's right there. And I even said, hey, listen to this, everyone. You said it right there in the middle of this question, in the middle of this paragraph. If I can find it again. Oh, here we go. They come back into my life whenever I'm focusing on myself. Period. And then you went right into, but then they change. Then their feelings change. So things seem to work out for a little while. Because here's what I assume. I'm assuming, and I said don't assume. Tarkan. Look, here's what I believe might be happening. Okay? Here's what I suspect might be happening. And that's just based on experience. It's not based on your question because you didn't really specify. But what I'm suspecting is happening is that you are able to pull back long enough. Okay. Usually what happens with people is that they give up. All right. They go, oh, I'm so tired of this. It's not happening. I give up. And that's kind of like letting go, but in a more intense, extreme, kind of painful way. Okay. And then you sort of, after giving up and kind of feeling bad about that, you sort of just start normalizing and equalizing again. And then you get on with your life. And then you start focusing on yourself more and focusing and getting into the flow of your life. And suddenly, boom, there they are. And now you're getting excited again. See, now you're making them the most important thing in your life again. Instead of just going, oh, that makes sense. Oh, right. This is what Tarkan said. This is what so-and-so said. This is what Neville said. This is what they all said. Is that when I focus on myself, when I don't focus on them so much, when I let go, when I walk away a little bit for a little while and I focus on other things, they show up. And then, but see, here's the trick. And this is what most people do. Then that person shows up and they go, and then they start freaking out again. Now, how do I keep them? How do I keep them around? How do I not go back to that way that it was? And then you start focusing on how it was again. And then you start panicking and you start fearing that you have something to lose again. So then you start going back to focusing on losing them. Okay. And being afraid of losing them. And of course, then what happens? Then they show up a few weeks later and go, I don't think, they have that ridiculous talk, the thing that people say, I think you deserve better than me. That usually is an indication to me that you've been pushing them too hard. Okay. You've been pushing them too hard. You're starting to become a little clingy and a little bit desperate, and it's kind of pushing them away. Remember, that desperation is the opposite of an attractive quality. You want to attract them. So then you have to be attractive and I don't mean like physically attractive. I mean attractive in terms of your energy. Having an attractive energy. A magnet pulls things to it. It doesn't chase things, and it doesn't glue itself to objects, okay? It doesn't go, hey, I'm a magnet, and that nail over there, I'm going to go chase down the nail and beat it into submission and glue myself to the nail. No, the nail is drawn to it. It's a magnet. So you want to be a magnet. You want to have that attractive quality, okay? That's attractive energy. So how can you be attractive in terms of attracting them if you're chasing them? Right? Doesn't make any sense. So that desperation, that clinginess is repellent energy. Okay. It repels people. It pushes them away because it's weird. It feels weird. It feels like pressure. It feels odd. It's not natural. So think about it. If that were, if that were you and somebody were like clinging to you all the time, it would be smothering. It wouldn't feel right. You'd want to get away from that person. Okay. So my suspicion is that what's happening here is that you focus on yourself successfully for a while, which creates the space that causes them to come back. And then you become desperate and clingy again. Okay. Now, again, that's a suspicion. I didn't really see that in your comment, but I suspect that maybe you're not seeing that yourself. But that's usually what happens. When I see these kinds of things, situations, that usually is what the case is. Okay. So I want you to guard against that. And I want you to sort of practice that, what you were doing, in terms of focusing on yourself, and you'll see that they'll come back again. And this will keep happening until you kind of get it. Oh yeah, I get it. Okay. It's like learning a dance. It's like learning to walk. It's like learning an instrument. Eventually you'll get it. Okay. So just keep practicing that. But again, go back to sort of focusing on yourself, and then watch, they'll come back again. And then you want to really make sure, watch for your tendency. What do you do when they come back? Do you start worrying immediately again that they're going to go away again, that you're going to lose them? Do you start getting clingy and desperate and pushing them away again? And my suspicion is that's what's going on. Okay? So watch for that. All right? So thank you, Sensitive. Thank you, Mista. Thank you, VJ, for your questions. I really do appreciate them. Thank you for all your comments, all your questions, and for watching this video, for subscribing if you haven't done so already, and you like the cut of my jib, and you like my little hat. I'm not going to always wear the hat. It's kind of itchy, actually. Please subscribe now. Please hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of when I upload videos. And also, if you want to leave me a little tip, a little dollar down below, you can do so. There's a link for PayPal. There's a link for Cash App, so you can do that down in the description box. Yeah, that's it, really, guys. That's it for this video. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. I wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Merry Holidays, whatever kind of holiday that you celebrate out there. I wish you a happy one. And if you don't celebrate any, then I wish you just a happy week. All right. And I wish you happy manifesting. All right. Until next time, I'm Tarkan. Again, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.